Hi! What you're about to watch is a video covering the restoration of two Sage 930A test sets. But it's part 2 of the video, and part 1 is gone. I can't find it. I shuffled it off to some other hard drive I needed space on. Anyway, can't find it. I looked all over. It's probably actually gone. So what you're missing out from part 1, which would be here if it were to exist, is the initial troubleshooting of the power supply, which I think I covered fairly well in part 2. The only part that I don't really show, it's kind of boring anyway, is the recapping of the two power supplies. Both power supplies needed new filter caps, all the electrolytics. I only know that, or I assumed that they were bad on the first power supply on this unit. And then when I opened up this power supply to cross-reference the parts, the capacitors had leaked everywhere and made a mess of the PCB, the power supply PCB. So I ended up just recapping them both. That's mostly what was in part 1, and a bit of a tour of the Sage 930A, I think, maybe. But that's gone now, so you'll just have to make do. But I do mess around with some of the features in the part 2 video, which is the only part that exists now, so it may as well be part 1 and the only part. Yeah, the rest of this is just for ambiance. What else? I think in part 1 I talk about destroying the PCM transceiver in this unit here. It is still destroyed. I have the replacement somewhere for it. I just haven't bothered yet because I haven't had this thing out yet to try it out. Actually, I have to go up there. Kind of lacking space. Perfect. Lovely. So one of I think the only thing I haven't covered is me destroying the PCM transceiver in this Sage 930A, which is why I bought the second 930A, was as a parts machine for this one, because it was listed as not working. In the description they said it just beeps a lot, which is actually what my first one did, and it was just because all the cards needed reseating on the backplane. So I have now 2 working units, and actually the first one is working a bit less, but it's a more featureful unit because it has the ringing generator and things like that. This one doesn't have. So anyway, enjoy part 2. Sorry about part 1. You'll have to use your imagination. Well, there might be some continuity problems. Here we are 3 months later. The power supply is finally working again. I think when I left off I was busy recapping. I don't know where I was at. What happened is the main chopper transistor on the switching power supply died. Because of my own stupidity, I think I covered this. The chopper transistor died, and I couldn't find a replacement because it's a weird SGS custom part number. I started reverse engineering the schematic for this, got a ways into it and realized I know nothing about switching power supplies, so I ordered a couple books on switching power supplies, and they've been my bathroom reading for the last little while, so I've been learning a lot. But it still wasn't working, and it still wasn't making sense to me. So, my mistake. I assumed it would be a MOSFET. This power supply was available in a bunch of different configurations from Power 1. This section here, kind of on the aft outboard end of the power supply, that was added to the standard power supply configuration. And that uses a MOSFET. So I assumed, okay, they're comfortable with using MOSFETs in their designs, going to use a MOSFET for the switching. And my understanding of the schematic kind of made sense that it would be a MOSFET. No, wrong. It turns out it's a high voltage bipolar transistor. How do I know that? I contacted Power 1 and said, hey, I have a SP584, also known as an SP594. Here's a picture of that. And the chopper transistor's hosed on it. And they said, nope, can't find it. We don't have any information on the power supply because it was a custom job. So then I went around on eBay and looked at hundreds of photos of Power 1 power supplies until I found those similar models, which were off the shelf. There's data sheets for them available online. So I said, hey guys, how about this model number, which I can't remember right now, but it's on the screen. And they said, we'll get back to you. And the guy got back to me, and with a screenshot of a line off the data sheet for that power supply, or I guess the bill of materials for that power supply. And it said it was NPN 850 volt, 10 amp bipolar transistor, which is a pretty tall order for a bipolar transistor. So that's right in here, attached to that heatsink. And they're actually kind of hard to find these days in a TO220 package. So I went on DigiKey and I found myself some BUL 510s right here. And those came in today, ordered them yesterday. Thank you, DigiKey. Soldered one in, fired it up, everything's great. That's it. There's nothing to see right now. That's the 5-volt rail, which seems to be running a little hot, but it's regulated. All the other rails are alive. I gotta be careful because this one's 56 volts. If I can find the thing. Oh, that wasn't on the common. Anyway, I don't want to electrocute myself because across these two caps at a, can't see that, 160 volts DC. And if you hear that, that's my sign that it works. So to recap, this power resistor fell off of this power supply at some point before I received it and before it was shipped to me, because it wasn't in the box and it didn't fall out while I owned the thing. Because of that, there's another slightly higher wattage resistor, like a 1-watt resistor tucked in down there, that was carrying a little more burden than it should, and it eventually died open circuit, which killed the power supply. So I replaced that with the wrong value of resistor. That's like a I think a mega ohm or something, and I replaced it with a kilo ohm because I'm an idiot, and that then destroyed the switching transistor, which then started my problems. Oh, and the other thing that's happened is, I don't know if I actually showed this one. I recapped the one that was a nightmare to recap because it was all corroded. This one was in good shape, so it actually didn't fight me. And at that point I was just frustrated with this project. So that's been recapped. New caps, new transistor, 2 new resistors on there. Good to go. And the only thing left now is to finish soldering on that transistor. So I left the lead sticking up because I wasn't sure it was going to work. I'd kind of lost hope with this project. Alright, I think that's everything. Good to go. And tighten that up. Let's put this thing back together. One power supply. I've started to document this on my website, should you have a Sage 930A or 935A, or I'm guessing the 930i with a hokey power supply, a dead power supply. I contacted Sage, or what's left of Sage Instruments, about it, and they were only interested in selling me a new refurbished unit, which I was not interested in at the price they were asking. Been so long, I've almost forgotten what goes where. If I hadn't just done one of these. Well, this video was supposed to be a teardown of this thing. not a destructive teardown, an informational teardown. But given how long it's been, lost interest. Alright, let's put this thing back together. AC it. I realize I have two different options. This one's not featured. That's harder. Okay. Moment of truth. Oh crap. PCM 1, no PCM. Well, that's because it's in not PCM mode. I know. Loop. Normal, not E&M. Loop, term, contact, 2-wire, 900 and term. There we go. So that's a regular. Of course, it's not seeing any battery, so that's good. Well, luckily, I have right here a loop. Ground hum. Dial. What? Oops. I just rang into term. Bridge, term. Contact, battery. No, contact. No. Dial pulse. Alright. So, my other test set doesn't have the ring generator. So that's what half of those wires are for. Well, that's a good sign. So, I did cook one of the PCM transceivers I have. Questionable replacements here, which I will be putting in at some point. But this is looking good. Let's try one of the options here. Hang on. Option. Let's get back down to the beginning. No. Option 1. This one's a lot more fun than the other one. And dial test line. Yes, please. Waiting for ringing. Okay, test set. Now I think I have this wired into 44. Answered the phone. Good sign. So what I can do is I can go send tone. Let's do a 1004 hertz at 1004 hertz. How do I change that? 000. Loud. And is that on? Send tone. Transmit. Transmit. Okay. Now I'm going to run the test line. Oops. There's my milliwatt test line. Ah, that's loud. Cool. Cool. So if I exit that, stop sending a tone, go to dial up sweep, waiting for ringing. 44. Oh, it just keeps going, it doesn't. I'm making it fast busy. Oh, and then everything's up. So we can see the frequency response to this thing. Yay. Still hear it coming through. I think it's crosstalk. Or is it that? No, it's coming through. Oop, there we go. Alright, exit. That was fun. We're at 30. Anyway. Dial. Dial, medium F, ring, dial pulse. Who am I? 22. Hello? Hello? Oh, I'm on speaker. Hello, hello. Cool. Something else I have. Alright, there's one more fun thing. Just gotta move a wire. Take this puppy off hook. Dial 41. You actually feel air coming out of that speaker.
Number you've dialed is not in service. Please check the number and dial again, or there is no operator. Good luck.
Neat. I only have one recording.
Number you've dialed is not in service. Please check the number and dial again, or there is no operator. Good luck.
So yeah, I picked up a Interalia MMU2 digital announcer, digital voice announcer for my system. It's a 6-channel announcer, so it's something else that'll be coming sometime in the future. But yeah, there we go. How to fix a Sage 930A in 4 months, flat. Just noticed one kind of neat thing that you can hear when I'm doing this. If I redial.
Number you dialed is not in.
Huh. Oh. No. Hang up.
Number you dialed is not in
it's not
service.
doing it.
Please check the number and dial again, or there is no operator. Good luck.
Let's call myself. It's hard to hear. There's a really neat kind of microphonic sound when the ring trips, but I apparently can't reproduce it today. It's gonna be busy. Forgot to flip the switch. Am I 22? Yeah. Must have misdialed. There we go. The other question someone asked me was if lockout was talkable. Oh, there we go. So now I've got the test set and the butt set on lockout. Put it on speaker. Ah, wrong button. Well, I can wait for that one. While it does that, let's get it on. Sure. It's very loud. Alright, we're on lockout. So, if I put this on tone, it's on speaker. Turn off speaker. Alright. I don't know if you can hear it. I can just hear it. There's a tiny bit of crosstalk. It wouldn't be talkable. I don't think there's so little there. DP. Oh, should probably get the right. All right, that works. That's what I can hear on the butt set, and that's with. Alright, that's all for now.